Okay, guys, this is another demonstration of how to use Reaper for podcasting. My name is Teddy, and I run a podcast called All Geeks Aside, and I use Reaper for that podcast for all my recording purposes. And I know how to equalize my voice to make it sound nice for me. But what about somebody else's voice? What if you have a voice that is deeper than mine? What if you are a lady and you have a different voice altogether? So I reached out to some of my podcast friends and asked them if they would record some audio for me so I could use it as an example of equalization using somebody else's voice. And I got some responses. Well, firstly, it's Sam Kulpers from the Breakers podcast, who has a voice that is even deeper than mine. And he recorded some audio for me, and we are going to look at it together for the first time. I already have my effects open, so let's get into the whole thing and look at the audio together. So here we have his audio, so let us close the effects and turn everything off, which it already is. Go back to the beginning and give it a listen as it is completely raw.
The angels not half so happy in heaven.
So as you will hear, it's quite deep. I'm assuming completely raw. Everything is pretty good other than that. So let's open up the effects again and have the equalizer turned on and see what we can do with this.
The angels not half so happy in heaven.
Let's turn it on first. That would be helpful.
The angels not half so happy in heaven.
So with Sam's voice, I would also, as with mine, I would add a high pass filter, not to the fourth one though. That would just be a band. We're going to add a high pass filter to the first one. Okay, now let us play it again and see where his voice sits in the deep resonance.
The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me.
So there you have it. The high pass filter does its job in and around, looks like around 80 hertz. So again, what would I do next? Same thing as I always do. I try, and since he has
the angels not half so happy in heaven,
similar deep voice,
the angels not half so happy in heaven,
a bit of clarity using the high end of the equalizer in and around, looks like 12,000 hertz. And you could theoretically leave it as this and it would be just fine, but if you listen,
the angels not half so happy in heaven,
there's a couple of small things in here, so I'm going to drop in around here.
The angels not half so happy in heaven.
That's not too bad, and we're going to do this one, but we're going to change the bandwidth slightly so that it's not as deep. I'm going to drop this down.
The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason.
So, as you can see, I have taken out most of the deep, low rumble that most people don't like, and it still has the qualities of his voice. But let me know what you think. Is this something that you would use for yourself? It's something that I would use. This is how I would like to do it, having a low, deep voice that I have. This is how I like my voice to sound now. As you can hear, all of the audio you're listening to now is my raw voice. Nothing else has been added to it. And it's not too bad, but listening to it for an hour or in a professional setting, it's not so good. So let's close this, remove this track, and let's start the next one.